What's up guys, so today I'm going to talk about a huge misconception a lot of people, or well 95% of the PvP community has, and that is what are actually macros, what are they able to do, and what are the benefits of using macros and what are the cons. Now the first thing you gotta know is what are macros. Now macros are physical keys you can give a specific command or a program that comes with your gaming keyboard. These commands can be anything from typing a specific word, like this one, which types blah blah blah, or it could be just a simple one of spamming a key, where you can set a time of how fast you spam the key on repeat. Now macros are actually allowed in any esports out there, or well, most of them that I can think of, like League of Legends, Dota, a lot of other games. So what are macro keys actually used for? Essentially what PvPers use macro keys for is to trigger glitches. Macro keys don't cause glitches, but we use them to trigger glitches within the game. Now, the glitches we trigger are glitches that can be triggered by hand. So if you think that macro gives longer range, faster speed, well, faster speed I'll talk about that later, but it doesn't give any longer range, it doesn't give any bigger rate of hitting cross maps or teleporting, none of that. And I feel like people have misunderstood that, because not a lot of people know about macros or are able to get their hands on macros. So I'm going to fill in on all the information you need. There's a lot of glitches out there, or at least in this game, which people trigger every 1v1, every zone, every people. But few people are actually aware of those glitches. And when people watch videos of people using macro keys, and they see them trigger a glitch that they don't fully understand, they believe that macros, since they have no understanding of macros, they connect those two dots. They believe that macros are the reason why they triggered that glitch. And I can see that, but that's not how it works. But there's actually a lot of other factors that play in that has nothing to do with macros, but people don't know of them or don't understand them. Let's say if you have cross map, and cross maps can be triggered with macros and without macros. So right now I don't have any macros on, and I'm going to cross map a person top mid. See that? No macros. And now I'm going to do the same thing just with macros, just to show that I have macros on right now. Look at the chat. No human can spam that fast. And watch. Still cross mapped in. So with macros and without macro keys, you can still cross map someone. And a lot of people will think that spamming, or well, when I say spamming, I mean spamming keys with macros, like faster than humans can spam. So when a person spams with macros, their rate of hitting cross map does not increase. It does not increase at all. It's the same as someone else that's not using macros, just people have started to believe that, but it's not true at all. And you'd know this if you had an understanding of crossmap, which few does. Another thing people seem to believe is that only with macros can you hit someone that's teleporting, which I'm going to disprove. At the moment I have macro keys on, and I'm going to hit this person that's teleporting. See, I hit him with macros. Now I'm going to do the same thing. Hit a person that's teleporting. Just at the moment I don't have any macro keys on. I'm going to spam it by hand and watch. You see that? My point is, all the glitches you experience in the game can be triggered without macros. But macros allow us to trigger glitches more efficiently. Now I'm going to show a few glitches which I discovered summer last year, but I uploaded a video unlisted on my channel for a few people to see, but I think it was like 4 people who were supposed to see it, but it ended up being 40 people. Now the glitch looks like this. Yeah, so at the moment you can see that my character is by this person, and the character someone else to see is down here. Now I use macros to trigger this glitch, but essentially you can do exactly the same by hand, which I'm trying to do now. Okay, so essentially I have split my cactus as I did earlier. As I said earlier, we use macros to trigger glitches more efficiently. And if you have no understanding of glitches, how are you supposed to use macros to your advantage when you have no idea what you're doing? So, before everyone starts going out there spamming macros, please keep in mind that you gotta know how you're supposed to do something before you try and do it. The thing I hear the most is that people say that macros allow you to hit faster than the game's limit. Now this is not true. Macros only allow you to hit as fast as the game limits are. It doesn't allow you to hit as fast as someone who's asking or anything like that. Macros do not change anything in the game. Now I'm going to prove this to you. This account right here is just going to do regular attacks without me pressing anything. While this one I'm going to have macros on around 5 milliseconds, which is really fast. Actually I'm going to put it at 1, which is the fastest I could go without disconnecting. Let's start. I am pressing 1 right now. It just doesn't want to show up in the chat. Well, you can see I'm pressing 1 pretty hard, but as you can see the auto attacks are equal. They are the same. This means that when you're not hopping, people using macro keys and people who's not using macro keys hit the same speed. Personally, I have experienced that moves trigger faster than they are supposed to. That the cooldown hasn't finished but moves start to trigger while I'm using macros. Now this is because I have around 200 ping to the service and I have lag and a pretty good delay. Not really a bad delay, but a good delay. So let's say I'm using healer and I'm trying to heal. Without using macros, I had to wait till the cooldown is over. Then I have a delay before it actually triggers. Then it takes some time again before the heal actually shows up. But when you use macros, even if I'm lagging, my cooldowns are going slower than they're supposed to, or they're showing slower than they're supposed to. If I'm constantly saying to the servers, trigger this heal, once the servers notice that the heal cooldown is over, they instantly get the information to trigger it. So for me, it might not show that the heal has finished its cooldown, and for me that looks like I'm triggering moves faster than I'm supposed to, but I'm not. I'm just keeping up with everyone else. I'm eliminating the delay I have, which is a benefit of using macros. But you gotta keep in mind that you're not triggering moves faster than you're supposed to. Does your attack range increase when you use macros? There's a quick answer to this, and that's no, not at all. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to find how far my attack range on this account is. Okay, so right now this account, or both accounts, are just outside each other's attack range. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to spam to this account with macros, so you can see, and you can see that I can't hit him. Same with this account. Right now you can see I can't hit him. My attack range has not increased, so if I move a bit in, if I'm able to do that, now I'm able to hit him. Same with this person. So essentially, when you're moving around, let's say you're sliding around, the little gap I'm actually within his attack range, people often skip those because again the game has delay and it's not instant. So even if I spam by hand, if I don't spam really fast, I still have some problems just hitting him. Macros fix that problem easy. So get close, I will instantly attack him. depending on how fast you spam. Not a lot of people can use macros. First of all, you gotta have a pretty good PC and a pretty stable net, or else you will lag out. Now, when you use macro keys, if you are putting too much pressure on the servers, you will make others lag too, even though the lag you experience is worse than others. Now, there's a bit of problem with this. For others who have a pretty bad net or PC, they might experience the lag you're creating. Since you have a pretty good PC and stable net, you won't even notice it. So if you're planning on using macros, do not spam too fast. Why? Because there's no need to do it. Why a lot of people spam macros really fast is to triple hit. Now, a triple hit basically looks like this. You're coming through a door and spamming keys. Now I'm going to use macros. As you can see, I have on right now. Now watch. 3 hits. But essentially what people think they can do is hit more auto attacks than triple. And yes, you can do that. Now there's a bit of a problem. First of all, you gotta spam pretty fast, okay? Second of all, the times you'll actually be able to hit a quad hit or whatever, it's not worth it. Mainly because you get door stuck. When you spam one, you're creating the split between the characters. You can see that there's a big distance between them. So if you then try and hop, you get stuck. Right now I'm going to increase how fast I spam one. I'm going to lower it to 5 milliseconds per press. Now I'm going to try and hop and spam, and I will probably get door stuck. Okay. Yeah, well, stuck already. See, I can barely even hop. Now, this is big con. And as you can see, I'm not even hitting quad hits. Just a double. So, your chances of hitting a quad hit or above is, I want to say under 0, but it's probably under 5%, okay? So it's not worth it. So, how fast you really have to spam with macro keys to trigger the glitches you want to trigger and not create too much lag and overdo it and not get door stuck? Well, between 50 to 100, okay? So everything from 50 milliseconds per press to 100 milliseconds per press works completely fine. I have it on 75 because I want to be able to actually see the chat when I'm chatting with my teammates. Before I end the video, I just want to say that macros are not against the term of conditions. The term of conditions says that any third-party program that alters the game is prohibited. Now macros isn't a third-party program altering the game. Macro programs basically just change a feature on your keyboard, and using a keyboard on Adventure Cost World is completely legal. So changing something on your keyboard, which is not changing a basic function of a keyboard, but changing abilities a keyboard already has, that's completely fine. Also another thing, my last video I uploaded, it had a pretty shady title. And it was supposed to have a pretty shady title because I wanted to see if anyone stuck their head out and basically reacted to the clips I had put together in a montage. Now, I used macros on purpose, and to be honest, my RNG luck was pretty insane, that 4v4 also, but as you can notice, I lagged a little bit, basically because I was using macros, and that lag made it look like I was hitting pretty fast, which I wasn't. But no one stuck their head out and said, oh yo, macros is unfair, it's like asking, it's like hacks. But a lot of people seem to believe that, so why didn't anyone comment it on my video or any other person that uploads PvP with using macros? So, and since no one has stuck their head out and said anything, we can clarify these type of situations where someone's doing something people think is illegal, but it's not illegal. So those who I have talked to that I have used macros for a long time, they don't think it's illegal, and with good reason, which I showed you in this video. And those who have only heard and seen about macros think it's illegal. Now, since those who used macros didn't inform the people that didn't know about macros, people started to think that, oh, maybe macros is like cheating, they are just keeping it a secret. So next time you are doubting something, please put your head out and say something so we can clarify these things and it does become a huge problem. Also, I want to say that my view isn't reflected in this video. I've heard a lot of people's opinion about macros and have taken everything into a video and tried to discuss what's wrong and what's right about what people think. I heard I'd say all arguments for why macros are legal and why they aren't illegal. I've also pretty much heard all the misconceptions people have, but if I missed something or there's something you want me to clear up, please comment below. But also be critical to what you hear and see. That's always good, because me myself, I have guided some people on the wrong path thinking that macros can do things they can't, and I'm sorry for that. But you always gotta be critical. Anyways, hope this video is clearing up the big misconception about macros. Peace.